Have you ever wondered what the world would look like if history had taken a different turn? What if the great empires of Africa, with their immense wealth, advanced cultures, and powerful armies, had been the ones to set sail and explore the globe? Let's dive into an alternate reality, a world where the script is flipped, and it's Africa that colonizes Europe. Imagine a 15th century where the Songhai Empire, fueled by its control over vast gold and salt trades, develops naval technology far beyond its European counterparts. Picture the Kingdom of Congo, with its sophisticated political structure, seeking new territories for expansion and resources. Instead of European ships arriving on African shores, it's the other way around. Massive fleets from the Mali Federation and the Ethiopian Empire cross the Mediterranean, not just for trade, but for conquest. This isn't just a fantasy, it's a reimagining of power, ambition, and destiny. The scramble for Europe begins. The continent, fractured by internal conflicts and not yet unified into the nation-states we know today, becomes the prize. The Mali Federation, with its legendary wealth, establishes a protectorate over the Iberian Peninsula, renaming Lisbon to Niani Nova. The Songhai masters of desert and riverine warfare push deep into what we know as France, their administrative centers replacing feudal castles. The Kingdom of Congo, with its diplomatic prowess, negotiates control over the Italian city-states, drawn by their maritime trade networks. The map of Europe is redrawn. London becomes Landalo, a key port in the West African trading empire. Paris is now Gauserseine, a provincial capital under Songhai rule. Instead of the Treaty of Tordesillas dividing the New World between Spain and Portugal, a great conference in Timbuktu partitions Europe among the major African powers. New trade routes are established, funneling European resources like timber, iron, and grain south to feed the burgeoning industries and populations of Africa. The political landscape is completely transformed. European monarchies are either deposed or become vassal states, paying tribute to their new African overlords. This colonization isn't just a change of flags. It's a profound cultural and social revolution. African languages like Mandinka and Swahili become the languages of administration and commerce. European nobles find themselves learning these new tongues to maintain a semblance of their former status. In the marketplaces of Rome and Berlin, you'd hear the vibrant sounds of African music, and the air would be filled with the aroma of spices from across the continent. African art, architecture, and philosophy begin to influence European aesthetics. Imagine Gothic cathedrals adorned with intricate geometric patterns inspired by Congo textiles, or Renaissance paintings incorporating the vibrant colors and styles of Ethiopian iconography. Of course, this process wouldn't be peaceful. Resistance movements would spring up across Europe. Guerrilla fighters in the Scottish Highlands and the dense forests of Germany would wage long, bitter campaigns against the colonial powers. They would fight to preserve their languages, their religions, and their way of life. These rebellions would be met with force, leading to cycles of conflict and suppression, echoing the struggles seen in our own timeline. But with the roles reversed, European cultures would find themselves in a struggle for survival. Some would adapt, creating unique hybrid cultures that blend European traditions with African influences. Others would be driven underground, their stories and songs becoming symbols of a lost identity. The technological exchange would be transformative. African advancements in metallurgy, mathematics, and astronomy would be introduced to Europe. The University of Timbuktu would establish satellite campuses in places like Oxford and Bologna, becoming the new centers of global learning. European scholars would flock to these institutions, eager to learn from African masters. However, this exchange would be on Africa's terms. Industrial development in Europe would be structured to benefit the colonial powers, with raw materials extracted from European mines and forests and shipped to African factories. Europe would become the resource-rich but technologically dependent continent. What would be the long-term legacy of this African colonization? Fast forward a few centuries, Europe might eventually gain its independence, but its societies would be forever marked by the experience. The borders of European nations might be based on the old colonial administrative zones, leading to new national identities and perhaps new conflicts. The languages spoken in Europe would be a mix of native tongues and African creoles. The very concept of European identity would be different, forged through a shared history of colonization and resistance. Think about the psychological impact. Europeans might grapple with a post-colonial identity, reclaiming their history while acknowledging the deep influence of African rule. The global balance of power would be centered on Africa, the cradle of civilization and the engine of the global economy. This alternate history challenges our assumptions about progress, power, and culture. It forces us to ask, what if the story we've always been told was just one of many possibilities? It's a powerful reminder that history is not a straight line, but a complex tapestry of choices, chances, and consequences. This thought experiment isn't about creating a better or worse world. It's about expanding our imagination and understanding the forces that have shaped our own reality. By flipping the script, we can see the dynamics of colonialism, cultural exchange, and power in a new light. It reminds us that no single path for humanity was ever inevitable. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey through an alternate timeline. If you enjoyed this exploration of what if, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you don't want to miss our next dive into the fascinating world of alternate history. Let me know in the comments what other historical what-ifs you'd like to see explored. Until next time, stay curious.